Hi, I'd like to talk to you about planning adult-led physical development sessions or PE lessons. It depends on what term you want to give it. Now, I find many early years practitioners, PE teachers, anybody that ends up having to plan a PE lesson or a more adult-led activity session, it's a minefield. Where do you start? What do you do? And I've so often come across the issue of overcomplicating it. So this part of early years physical development can actually be quite simple. Now, through this, I want to talk to you about early years skills. Now, there are so many early years physical skills. There's obviously social emotional skills that are developed through movement and play. However, I want to focus specifically on early years physical skills. Now, these could be jump, run, hop, skip, bounce. There's just so many of them. And how do we go about making sure that children in early years get the opportunity to develop all the skills that they need? Now, this is where planning around skills comes into play. It's something that I have looked at for many years. Started off, I was involved in a team alongside British Heart Foundation who developed an early years entitlement, and we looked at developing skills. The team started before I joined them, and since then this is something I've looked at a lot. And the idea is focus on planning around skills rather than around activities or anything else, however else you plan. So what I do is I look at 3 skills a week, and the idea of those skills is, first of all, you can then really focus on, are all children able to do the skill that I'm expecting them to be able to do? I've had many reception teachers tell me that they have children arriving and they can't jump, but they've taken it for granted that they can. So what it does is it allows you to really focus on specific skills and either identify your whole class can't do it or particular children can't do it, because every single cohort of or group of children is going to be different. So it allows you to focus on specific skills. It helps you identify any children's specific needs, and it means it's a lot easier to create activities, because if you're creating activities around skills, then those skills can fit into an active story, into a movement to music. You could do, one of my favorites is the traffic light game, where you just add extra movements that the car might do that links to a particular skill, things like that. And it allows for repetition. So you would start with providing a planned lesson, and then it becomes very holistic, because then you can repeat those activities when children are outside. So you can have the same activity again. Children can choose to take part or not, or you can rally up the children who need a little bit more support and have more quick little bursts with them. You can have those skills in flashcards and you put them outside in your area, so then children can choose during child-led time to play with it, or to extend their activity or extend their skill. You can share with parents, so that's a great home link. So this is a really, really simple way of planning adult-led activities when it comes to physical skills and physical development. Now, it's always good to start with a little bit of training. So make sure that you understand the skills, make sure that you know what the skills are, and understand how you can break them down for children. Then, as I said before, keeping it simple. Plan around 3 skills, and those skills can then become part of holistic planning, adult-led, child-led, home links, etc. And then The beauty of this is it's really easy to differentiate. So you can break down a skill. So if a child needs to, if one of the skills is hop, what do children need to be able to hop? They need a bit of balance, they need a bit of leg strength, and a bit of coordination. So if a child's really struggling with hopping, maybe they just need to do more running around or activities that build up their strength. Balance is a really important foundation. If they haven't got the balance, they're going to struggle with hopping. So then you can really simplify the activities to allow for all children to be engaged at their level. And if a child is engaged at their level, they're more likely to continue being engaged, and they're more likely to achieve and enjoy it and want to carry on. Whereas if a child is engaged in activity that's just too hard for them, they will find it really difficult to continue engaging. So that's where differentiation is so important. Now, of course, skills can be, when you plan, you can plan new games, you can fit them into games you already have. Imaginative play, so active stories, role play, etc. There's also things like ball skills, and ball skills have got a very there's quite a lot of progression, from rolling to throwing to bouncing, etc. But that's a whole other area. So you can look at specific areas of ball skills, and then things like gymnastics. Gymnastics in early years is very simple. It's it's making shapes, it's use of bodies, it's those kind of things. So you can look at using these skills specifically for developing basic gymnastics or developing ball skills, etc. But it's also really important that it can fit into everything else, be it, like I say, movement to music, active stories, etc. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a great way to really focus on specific abilities, specific areas with children that maybe they're struggling with. So it's a good way to observe and assess a child's ability and their individual needs, and also the group's needs. But just by keeping it this simple means you will really help children develop in the area that they need to. And I will always remind everybody, early years is about the opportunity to develop. As they get older, that's when they can start becoming proficient at certain skills and abilities and mastering. However, early years is about the opportunity to develop in as many ways as they possibly can. And that's why it's really important to identify if a child's struggling with a specific basic skill, then let's support them to give them more opportunity to develop. It's not about hashing away to get good at a game or a sport. It's about giving them the opportunities to start with the basic skills that they need. And another thing I harp on a lot about is, in early years, schemes of work are not ideal for early years. If you are struggling to know what to deliver, yes, following a scheme of work can help you. However, it's really important to understand that schemes of work are very prescriptive, and not all children actually are the same in early years. I know as they get older they're not all the same, but in early years children develop at a very different rate. So it's really important to be flexible and respond to their needs. So something like a pathway. Here are ideas, here's information, here's knowledge, etc. Here's ideas. Now you take all that information and those tools and those ideas, and what you do with that is then you can plan according to your own children's needs. So yeah, develop your knowledge, keep it simple, think about skills, and differentiate. Yeah, and holistic planning is really important. And yeah, if you do need to know more information, look down bottom. There's some links to information, and there's links to Move, where we do have a pathway, a physical skills pathway, which we've developed with a group of teachers. They asked for it. We developed it together. It's something they now use and find very useful. And yeah, get in touch anytime if you have any questions, and good luck.